You black folk, you stay in the ghetto. You stay in the townships that we assign you to. And the racism in apartheid South Africa was pathetic. Nelson Mandela came along and things changed. And there was a Truth and Reconciliation Commission that said, we can't just ignore what has happened. We got to deal with it. And so they put up courtroom situations where people came in and were accused, and then people chose how to deal with it. Well, there's one courtroom situation where there's a white police officer named Officer Vanderbrook. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission looked into the face of the black South African woman at one side of the court and into the white face of Officer Vanderbrook and said, Officer Vanderbrook, you went into this woman's township, you grabbed her husband, you brought him outside, and you partied. And at the end of your party, you burned him over a pit of fire until he became dust, ashes. Then a few weeks later, officer, the evidence is, you went to that same township and you took not this woman's husband this time, you took her only son. And you brought him outside the township and there you partied and then burned him to ashes. Now, ma'am, what do you want us to do to this guy? And this black South African woman said, I want three things. First of all, I want Officer Vanderbrook to bring me to the place where he burned my husband and my son to death, because I want to gather up the ashes and give them a proper burial. Second thing is, I want Officer Vanderbrook to come to my township, my home, once a week, and I want to mother him, because he's taken my family away, and I want to mother him. And the third thing is, I want to be allowed to walk across this courtroom and embrace Officer Vanderbrook to try and convince him that my forgiveness of him is real. And the Truth and Reconciliation say, go ahead, ma'am. This black South African woman stands up, walks across the courtroom, and as she's coming towards him, Officer Vanderbrook faints dead away. Good response, officer, because you're confronted by the forgiveness, the grace of God revealed through a woman who should hate your guts. Now, what you got to do is you got to ask yourself, is that real? Is love and forgiveness real, or is it just a feeling? And according to Christ, it's a real ability that God has given you and you and you and me and you and you. And real life is found in loving and forgiving people and restoring broken relationships. Do you understand, my friend?